my heart will always have a hole, something missing, something that they took from me, July 7th.
His life cut short. Haitian President Jovenel Moïse assassinated on a July night.
I was shot, he was dead. In my head, everybody died. I was the only one that survived, and I asked myself, why?
Madam. Just months after losing her husband, we sit down with Haiti's First Lady.
I know this is not easy for you to talk about.
As she recounts that terrifying night.
Who do you think may be responsible?
Her recovery.
The bullet get rid of the elbow.
The future.
Do you feel like your life is still at risk?
And the future of her beloved country.
I won't let the vision and the mission of my husband die.
Yeah.
I won't.
In our exclusive interview.
Hello everyone, I'm Calvin Hughes. The small island nation of Haiti has seen its share of political setbacks and natural disasters. Who could forget the quake devastation of 2010? And then another on August 14th. But the aftershocks of July 7th, the assassination of Haiti's one-term president Jovenel Moïse, will be felt for generations to come. Few saw it coming, and most still find it hard to believe, including his own wife, Martine.
It was a late August morning, with a security team by her side. The First Lady agreed to meet at an undisclosed location in South Florida.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
It had been more than a month since men armed with military-style rifles burst through their bedroom door, shooting her and killing her husband.
The bullet that I received, I lost the elbow, so that doesn't exist anymore.
Martine Moïse describing her injuries from gunshots that were meant to take her life.
Here also is broken. So the nerve, they couldn't put them together.
Haiti's First Lady has had 4 surgeries to repair the wounds to her body.
How many times were you shot?
2, 4, 6, I think 7 or 8.
2 bullets breaking her ribs and nerve tissue taken from her right leg and placed into her right arm so that she's able to have use of her hand and fingers.
Can you wiggle your fingers at all?
Yes, I can. I can now, but I couldn't before. I will get rid of that.
Oh, you'll get rid of it.
But the end will never be straight.
Yes.
It always be like that. There's always be a curve.
It seems a miraculous recovery from the July afternoon when Martine Moïse was placed on an emergency flight to Jackson Memorial Hospital.
Most people who are watching, who will watch this, couldn't imagine the pain that you endured, not only that night, the physical pain that you endured, but also the emotional pain that comes along with that.
I passed a whole week, without sleeping, without eating, only drinking water.
It would be a nurse who inspired her to finally eat.
And while I'm eating, I said, what, if he was alive, what he would wanted me to do right now? To keep falling down that hole, or to start getting better? And I realized he always wants me to be happy. And I think that my healing process is him.
She found strength in their memories together, but it would be their children who made her fight.
I was dying. I was dying after the week. I feel like dying because that's what I wanted, to die. And when I look at in their eyes too, and I saw them dying with me, and I didn't want that.
Do you feel like your life is still at risk right now?
It will always be.
Will always be?
Yes. Always. But that won't
Why?
stop me.
Why do you say that?
Because I think that I wasn't supposed to be alive that night. If I survive, So I still at risk. That's what I think. I put myself together and get planned.
Moïse is living a life far different than the one she had imagined, with her husband of a quarter century. How much do you miss him?
A lot. A lot. A lot. Because he's the type of person that spoiled you over time. And that is what I miss the most, the small things.
On January 4th, they celebrated 25 years together.
That is the hardest part when I see it. When I take the year and I take January to July, and January we were having fun. It was the 25th anniversary. June 26th was his birthday. And some days after, 7th of July, he was about to die. No.
Madam First Lady, I have known the both of you for years, and you were always, I have never gone to Haiti, I've never talked to him, and you were not by his side. You were always by his side.
We were always there. We were always together. I mean, since we met, we got married. Even though he had to go to work, we always hold hands when we were working. And always talk about something. There's always a joke. He loves saying joke. There's always a joke that he has to say. So that's what I miss sometimes.
But your heart is broken. You are...
Always be. Always. There's nothing that can be done to repair that heart. But even though the heart is broken, the mind is still strong.
At any point did you think that this would ever happen?
I would never thought that they could go so far.
The terrifying night that took his life and nearly took hers.
That's what I lost in July 7th.
And her push for justice. Who do you think may be responsible? When our exclusive interview with Haiti's First Lady continues. Jovenel Moïse was in the final months of his presidential term, traveling in the northern part of the country where he's from and where he remains most popular. In May, Moïse invited me to travel with his presidential motorcade as he stopped in village after village, proudly showing off the projects he had started and hoped to finish. In our last interview, Moïse said that he had spent the last 4 years building a better future for Haiti. Changing the Constitution, adding electricity, and ending corruption are the three things I will be leaving behind in my legacy, he says. Barely 2 months later, it was just after midnight on July 7th, when Martine Moïse says she began to hear the sound of gunfire.
They was kind of far away, but they were approaching. They became closer and closer and closer. It was the first round of gunshot wake us up.
And then what? Did you think they were attacking? Obviously, they were clearly attacking your residence.
Yes, they were, but I couldn't think about that. For me, it wasn't possible. No one could do that. So a president in power. Until it died, I didn't realize that it died after he died. Because for me, help was coming. Because there's a bunch of security on the house with us, so we cannot be under attack.
Moïse says she remembers for 30 to 40 minutes, gunshots piercing the outside of their private residence, shattering windows. With her own safety in jeopardy, she thought about her 2 children
who were in the house.
I went to the kids' room because I know that they were panicking. I didn't want them to come to us. So I went to them. There's a room. In their room, I asked them to go there because in that room there's no window. So I asked them to stay there with the dog, so to keep quiet.
And then you came back to the bedroom where President Moïse was.
Yes. He was laying on the floor because at that time, for real, windows were shattering, concrete was flying, and I asked him, did you find something? Did you find someone? Did you call someone? He said, yes, I called security. They are on their way.
You felt safe at that point? You felt like you were...
Yes, because the people that he said that he called, I know they are coming. Because I know those people are loyal. That's what I thought at that time.
Moïse says the president called at least 2 top security officials.
He told me that he called Dimitri Erreur and Jean Laguerre Civil. Those people, he called them. They were part of the security team, and he said that they are coming.
Dimitri Herard and Jean Laguerre Civil never arrived and are now behind bars, accused of being a part of the assassination plot. So with no one stopping the assassins, they were inside the house, unprotected, and the bedroom door unlocked.
So they just opened the door.
Within minutes, Haiti's first family was living its worst fear. But it's a danger Jovenel and Martine Moïse had faced at least a few times before, assassination attempts on his life.
Were you aware of those assassination attempts?
Yeah, I know. And sometimes on the road, once on the road, they try to shut the cars.
The motorcade?
Yes. They shoot them. I don't know if there's people that died that day. I didn't ask, but I know that he's been attacking on the road. He's been being attacked on the road.
This time, the assassins would successfully carry out their plot, first by shooting Martine, and then holding the president at gunpoint.
Do you know how many men were standing over him at all?
I do not know. They're probably from the steps 12, 15, from the steps that I hear. But you know, what I heard also, I was pretty far from life because I was shot. I was losing blood. Blood was coming from my arms, my mouth, so it was kind of blurry for me.
Some of the assassins began frantically searching the bedroom for a document.
I don't know what it is. I keep asking and asking and asking. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. But they were saying, this is not it, this is not it, that's it. And that's what I think they were searching for. But I don't know what it is.
She says after the gunmen found what they were looking for, it should have been mission accomplished.
It wasn't the case. They came for 2 things, to fight what they were searching for and to kill the president.
There's no doubt in your mind.
No.
There are rumors that President Jovenel Moïse was tortured. True or not true?
The person that killed him was there's right next to him, and he shot him from head to toe. So it was a gun that's supposed to be used on long shot.
Yes.
That was very close. So they didn't talk to him at all. They didn't tell anything to him.
So after the men left, you were able to pull yourself up.
It wasn't easy. So I have to take my left hand and took my right hand and tried to screw. At that time, in my head, the president was still alive. So I had to go closer to him because it was slippery too. I cannot walk. So I slip and I go and it's when I see one of the eyes pop and I said, no, it's not alive anymore. Because in my head, I was say, okay, let's go to the hospital. I'm still alive and you too, let's go, we can survive this. But a piece of me went because it wasn't only the president, it was my husband. He was my friend. He was the part that I have missing in me, and I was the part that he has missing. So together, we are the whole thing. That's what I lost in July 7th. That is that part of me that I lost. And I have to be the whole without that part.
Just ahead.
You are saying he could not be the mastermind?
No.
No way.
Who killed President Moïse?
There's someone else higher that we don't know yet.
The connections to South Florida.
Do you want revenge? What do you think your husband's legacy is?
When Haiti's First Lady, the exclusive interview, returns. Just a day after the assassination came the arrests. More than 24 Colombian nationals would end up behind bars, with 3 Haitian Americans, among them Joseph Vincent and James Solage of Fort Lauderdale.
But I want to tell them something.
The mastermind, according to investigators, 63-year-old Christian Emmanuel Sanon. The Florida doctor allegedly used a Doral-based security firm to recruit some of the accused gunmen.
The name Sanon. Did you know him prior to him? No.
No. Before that event, I never heard the name of Sanon before.
Is this a laughable name for you as the person who was the mastermind behind all of this?
No, it can't be. It can't be the mastermind.
You are saying he could not be the mastermind?
No.
No way.
It's just part of the game.
He's part of the game.
Yeah. It can't be. There's someone else higher that we don't know yet.
On September 14th, a Haitian prosecutor asked a judge to charge Prime Minister Ariel Henry in the president's death and bar him from leaving the country. Prosecutors say 2 calls were made between Henry and suspect Joseph Baggio after 4 a.m. July 7th. Prosecutors saying Baggio was near Moïse's home at the time.
He had a lot of enemies because he wanted Haiti to be democratic. He wanted to fight corruption to the bone. And you know, in Haiti, there's a lot of powerful people that are involved in corruption. So he has a lot of enemies.
Anyone you want to name?
You know, there's investigation going, and I don't want to do something that can make the investigation go south. All I want to ask is for justice. And justice, it is to find the people, and they can hold them accountable for what they did to the president in power. Or else, any president in power in the world probably won't feel safe.
Do you want revenge? Are you angry? Are you upset?
No. At first, yes. At first, the first week, I was upset, I was angry, I wanted every one of them that did that to die. But after that, what will I have? Nothing. What I really want is already gone. That won't bring him back.
You know, I like to pay attention to signs, and right now, before you got here, it was extremely peaceful, no wind, nothing.
I know what you're thinking.
What do you think it is?
I think it's the same thing. The strength of the wind, it's him that's saying, I'm here with you guys.
What do you think your husband's legacy is? And what do you want it to be?
He was fighting a lot to have structural progress in Haiti. So the other people to come, the other president after him, will build on that. So one day, in 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, you will have another country. So I wanted that to continue. I think the real justice for Jovenel is that. For him to rest in peace. For him to say that I give my life for my country, And it's not in vain, because if he died and it's one death more, what's the point of him dying?
After the break, devastation strikes Haiti.
That hurt me a lot because I wanted to be there.
The First Lady's efforts to help her home. Plus,
The New York Times reported that you wanted a future in politics.
what the future holds when our exclusive interview continues. Just 5 weeks after the assassination, Haiti was struck again by tragedy. A 7.2 magnitude earthquake rattled the southern portion of the country, leaving thousands dead and even more injured. The city of Lakai hit hardest.
When you woke up and heard about that on a Saturday morning, what thoughts went through your head?
I was devastated because in what we are right now, we couldn't have an earthquake. That hurt me a lot because I wanted to be there. I really wanted to be there. I make plans, but the doctor said no. If you want to get better, you cannot go. You cannot travel right now.
Have you been in contact with people there?
There's a lot of people that contact me to give me things. So where I am, I cannot receive them. So I direct them to the people on the ground for them to distribute water, food, clothes.
As she supports the Haitian people, she hopes they continue to support her. A message she tried to convey when she returned to Haiti for the president's funeral.
How did it feel to go back that very first time? Were you nervous? Were you scared?
No, because fear holds you back.
But for the people who were watching, you wanted them to see that maybe the father is not around, but the mother of the country.
He's still here. And I will always be here for them. Always.
An article in the New York Times quoted the First Lady as saying she would one day run for president.
When the New York Times article came out, there are so many people who were upset, mainly Haitian Americans who thought, how could you even talk about politics when your husband had just been buried?
I just told her too that I won't let the vision and the mission of my husband die.
Yeah.
I won't.
Many Haitians felt like you lost them in that moment, that you...
They don't have to let me go because I need them to go on. I will always serve them because I will always live in my country.
Wow. You're going back home.
I'm going back home when I'm done.
After everything that happened,
After everything that
you're
happened.
going back to Haiti.
How long can I stay in the U.S.? How long? What other place that I have? Home is home. Home may be hell, but it's home.
It's highly unlikely Haiti will have its presidential elections this year, especially after the country's devastating quake and then Tropical Storm Grace. I'm Calvin Hughes. Thank you for watching.